Enhancing Education and Youth Programs in Michigan by Jacob Wright. Michigan's education system faces several challenges. To start off, we look at funding disparities, as many Michigan school districts are underfunded, with significant gaps between affluent and low-income areas. This disparity affects the quality of education and resources available to students. Along with that, there are teacher shortages, as Michigan has been experiencing a shortage of qualified teachers, particularly in subjects like math, science, and special education. This shortage impacts students' learning and overall education outcomes. Next, we will look at youth programs, as comprehensive youth programs are essential for providing support and opportunities outside of the classroom. These programs help in the development of the children. To improve the educational outcomes and support youth development, Michigan must implement policies that increase funding for schools, provide better support for teachers, and expand access to youth programs. Increase funding for schools, advocate for equitable funding to ensure all schools have necessary resources to provide quality education. Along with that, implementing policies that offer better salaries, professional development, and improved working conditions to attract more qualified teachers is also important. Lastly, expanding youth programs is investing in after-school programs, mentorship opportunities, and career and technical educational programs to support youth development and prepare them for future successes through CTE, which is Career and Technical Education. Next, we have our visual aid. This is a bar graph that shows all the correlation between increased funding and improved student performance. This graph illustrates how schools with higher funding levels tend to have better student performance. Investing in education is essential for closing achievement gaps and ensuring all students have the opportunity to succeed. As you can see, schools with lower funding levels have an average that is much lower in contrast to schools with higher funding levels, as their scores are much better. This graph clearly demonstrates that increased funding leads to better student performance. Therefore, it is crucial that we advocate for policies that ensure equitable funding for all schools. And lastly, we have the bibliography, as I have used Education Trust Midwest, Michigan Department of Education, and Comprehensive Youth Services for finding all of my content. Thank you. Enhancing